Hey, are y'all ready for tonight? Come on, come on. Are you all ready for tonight? Let's get this conversation started. Hello, welcome to the Power in Minding Your Business podcast. I am Dr. Tiffany James. I am your host for tonight. I am here to motivate and inspire you to live from your highest potential. Also, here at the Power in Minding Your Business podcast, we celebrate success obtained through positive attitudes, positive mindsets, as well as faith. So, before we begin tonight, of course, I have an announcement to make. I made the announcement on the previous podcast, but I just wanted to kind of just show you a little proof before we go forward tonight. So let me stand up just a second so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So here you have it. I will be running for Mrs. Florida America next year, 2022, as Mrs. Hillsborough County. So there you have it. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. So let me take this off, put this to the side so we can go ahead and go forth with our conversation. All right. So we're going to have some fun tonight. I'm going to give you a lot of insight on moral character. And I feel like this is a great topic to talk about because as an entrepreneur or person in business or just in your personal life, period, you should walk the walk as well as talk the talk. So not only talk the talk, but you should walk the walk. And I think in order for you to be able to be the best entrepreneur and the best person in general, to inspire others is basically to have that moral character, right? Yeah, I think so too. So let's start off with the heading for tonight's topic. And I chose this heading because it was perfectly fitted for the topic that we're going to discuss tonight. So, ability may get you to the top, but it takes character to keep you there. Think about it. Ability may get you to the top, but it takes character to keep you there. And let me give you the definition of character. Well, first, that quote is by a guy named John Wooden. Okay. So let me give him credit for that quote because, of course, it's not my original quote. So John Wooden originally stated that quote. And tonight I'm going to give you multiple definitions of the different moral characters that I will be talking about. They go hand in hand with each other, but I will give you the definition, and also like a scenario. I'll just give you a little insight as to what you can do as an entrepreneur to exude or to exemplify these different characteristics. Okay. So first, let me tell you what character is. So character, and all of these definitions are coming from the Oxford language, which is basically a business collaboration between Oxford Press and Google. So you basically put meaning of and whatever word I state, and you'll be able to find it in Google. And of course, Google gets the definition from Oxford language, which is Oxford Press. Okay. And that is a notable dictionary, just in case you all don't know, a notable company. Okay, so character is the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. So these are qualities that set individuals apart. You also can think of these qualities or character as, certain qualities of a certain group of people. So a lot of times we as citizens of the world, tend to judge others, but we tend to judge them off of their character. And so I think that's where other deeper issues stem when it comes to various topics and various issues within our world, because we'll take a group of people and try to classify them according to the character of certain groups of people, which is not completely fair. Okay. But yeah, that's basically what sets, individuals or groups of people aside from others based on their character and their mental and moral qualities. Okay. So overall in business, let me tell you why it's important for you to have great moral character. Okay. So not just so that you can stay at the top. Of course, that's important. But overall, you want to be able to gain that trust from your customers, or you want others around you to be inspired by you. You want them to feel as if they can trust you, as if you're a notable source. You know what you're talking about. They can come to you about anything, but we'll get into all of that later. Okay. But you just want to gain that trust. And once you have that relationship with a person or a customer or those around you, once you've gained their trust, then it won't be so hard for you in business to thrive. And not only to thrive, but to stay at the top. And before we go more into it, I'll just talk about this a little bit more. I always question, why is it that people that we see, like maybe like certain celebrities, they'll have like this all-time high of fame, right? So they'll get to the top of their careers or the top of their industries. And when they're at the top, it's like all of a sudden they will fall. And not just fall, like go, down or step down. It's like they will fall from the height of their career all the way down to the bottom. And I always question that. I'm like, how could that happen? And we can think about all of the, I guess, things, the surface things, or the shallow things that could cause them to hit rock bottom. But ultimately, I feel like character is what causes them to fall. Some people can't handle success. And I'm gonna just be honest with you. Some people can't handle success. They get to the top and they make so much money. They feel empowered, and they take that, and then their humility is shattered. They become arrogant. They become like, they feel like they're untouchable. And that's ultimately their downfall, right? And of course, other things to add as well. We can talk about other like habits and behaviors and all that other great stuff. But like I stated before, I always wondered why people will get so high into their industries, or, be so much of an influencer amongst the people, and then they will just fall. So just doing research and just reading and trying to find out more things just about us as human beings and us, here on earth, I want to know more and I desire to know more. So I read a lot. Okay. And this is just one of the many things that will cause someone to fall. Okay, so let's go over some great moral qualities. And of course, as always, I am going to be looking down because I have my notes written down. Okay, I haven't quite perfected this craft. I'm just starting. Okay, all right. So I'm going to go over 5 qualities, 5 moral characters that I feel all entrepreneurs should have when they're in business. Okay. So go ahead, get your pen, of course, get your piece of paper and take lots of notes, because for each of these qualities or characteristics, I will be giving a definition, and we will talk about it, have a little chit chat, just a small conversation about each quality or characteristic. Okay. So this is not in any type of order. It's not least to greatest, greatest to least. I just came up with a list. Okay. But I will tell you one of my favorites, the one that I feel is very important. Okay. So, number one, integrity. That's one of my favorites. Okay. It's important to have integrity. But first, let me give you the definition of integrity so that you can know what I'm talking about. All right. So, integrity is the quality of being honest and have strong moral principles. So, moral uprightness. Okay. It is so important to be honest. Be honest with your customers. Be honest with your vendors. Be honest with your coworkers or people that are around you. The people that work for you, your employees. That's basically one of the main things that builds trust. If people can trust you to tell the truth, or they can trust you in being honest about everything. If they know you to be someone who's not 100% truthful, I don't think you're going to gain their trust. And as it pertains to your customers, they probably won't stay around as long if they find out that you're not such an honest person. So I say integrity is very, very important because it's important for entrepreneurs to stay true to themselves as well as uphold this moral, like, righteousness in a sense, in order to progress or in order to establish that clientele that they desire to establish. So, integrity, as I stated, is important. Remember that. All right, let's go to the number 2 characteristic, compassion. Oh my gosh, compassion is very important. Let me give you the definition of compassion. So, compassion is sympathetic pity and concern for the suffering or misfortunes of others. Compassion. So, you mean to tell me if a customer comes into your business and explain to you how your product or this particular product, whether or not it's your fault or the manufacturer's fault or the vendor's fault, however it goes, okay? If a customer comes into your business and explains to you how unsatisfied they are, I feel as an entrepreneur that owns that business, you should show compassion towards that customer. Like, don't have an arrogance about yourself or just carry yourself in a way in which you don't really care about your customers. It's kind of like, okay, oh, well, that's the manufacturer's problem. Here's the phone number. You need to contact the manufacturer. Like, show some compassion. Like, show the person that you care, like you sympathize with them. Put yourself in their shoes, and depending on if you have high products or not. There are a lot of businesses out here that has relatively high price products, which is fine. But if there is fault, or if a customer finds fault with the product or with your services, just show them some compassion. Show them that you actually care about what it is that they're saying, and go out your way to make sure that you handle your business in satisfying that customer. And that will take you a long way, because you will build this reputation of having so much generosity and just honesty and compassion for your clients or customers. Let me tell you, word of mouth spread very fast. I think word of mouth, well, I'm not even going to say I think. Based on what I've read, word of mouth spreads the fastest than any other source out there. So if you treat a customer bad or you don't show that customer compassion, guess what? They're going to tell their friends. They're going to tell their family members. They're going to tell Keisha, Tony, um, Lily, and let me stop. They're going to tell everybody that they can tell. And guess what? Those same people are going to go back. They may not have the story 100% correct, but they are going to spread the word like wildfire. And I'll tell you now, in today's world of technology, oh my gosh, social media is not any platforms to mess with. You hear me? Social media has gotten a lot of people canceled, right? I mean, all you have to do is make one juicy post, and man, when I tell you, people will begin to share those posts like there's nothing to it. I mean, just it doesn't hurt to show compassion. Just sympathize with that person. It will take you a lot further down your path as an entrepreneur and while growing your business and making it successful than to just, you know, leave it as is, or, try to basically find a dispute against what the person is saying. So just show people compassion, sympathize with them, put yourself in their shoes, and hey, you will be okay. All right, let's go to characteristic number 3. Respect. Respect. Let me give you the definition of respect. So, respect is due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others. So you have to not disregard, but you have to regard how other people feel. You have to regard their wishes, their traditions, and just how they operate. You may have those, that clientele that may be negative, that comes into your business, your establishment, or just purchase from you online, that may have this negative aura or may have this negative energy. But ultimately, this is your client. This is your client. You still have to perform. You still have to respect them and respect their insight and their wishes. Now, that's not to say to, go against your morals in order to show some type of respect to their negativity. You don't have to agree with them in a lot of ways, but just to show that respect, just to show them that, hey, I respect you for who you are. I respect your traditions. I respect how you feel about things. I respect your wishes. Like, it's not as hard as people make it out to be. But, some of these things don't necessarily come natural for people as you may think, because we have been exposed to so much negativity growing up, looking at things on social media, looking at television, just going about our everyday lives. It's just like so easy for people to be so negative, and we tend to grab hold of some of those characteristics depending on who you are, of course. A lot of people, or I say most people, tend to grab hold and gravitate towards those negative characteristics, and that's what they like. That's what they tune into. And it's kind of like, why would you want to be disrespectful to other people intentionally? Like, why do you want to be disrespectful? What are you getting out of that? What in your heart is making you rejoice from being disrespectful to someone? I don't get it. Hey, maybe I will never get it, okay? But I just say be respectful. So that was moral characteristic number 3. So we went over integrity, compassion, respect, And number 4, let's see. Number 4, this is one of my favorites. And I said, almost all of them are important, believe me. But this is like one of the top things for me. Humility, humbleness. So let me read the definition of humility. Humility, a modest or low view of one's own importance, humbleness. So, as I stated, the definitions that I am reading is coming from the Oxford language, but I do have an additional definition that came from Webster for humility, and that is freedom from pride or arrogance. Oh my gosh. I can just woosah. This is one of my favorite ones. And if you follow me on Instagram or you follow me, your friends with me on Facebook, you may see, certain posts that talk about characteristics. And I talk about humbleness. I talk about humility. That's very important to me. And even with me. So, Dr. Tiffany James. Okay. Now, you want me to tell you a secret? Let me share a secret. Okay. I used to be insecure about being Dr. Tiffany James, right? So let me tell you why I used to be insecure. Because I was this type of person where I was like cool, down to earth, and I never wanted other people to feel like they had to be jealous of me, or they had to, have ill or negative feelings towards me because of the doctor that leads before my name, the doctor title. So I would be like kind of insecure about it. So when I would get into certain settings, I would tell people, like when they say, "Oh, Dr. Tiffany James," I would say, "No, don't call me doctor. I'm Tiffany." It's just kind of like I had to remind, or I felt as if I had to remind people of who I am. Like I'm the same person, but I didn't have to feel insecure about that doctor on the front of my name, because ultimately I earned that. When I tell you I put in the work, I put in the work, and then had some personal stuff going on at the same time. So when I say I earned that title, I worked my butt off basically to get that title. So I no longer feel insecure about being called Dr. Tiffany James. I embrace it nowadays, okay? But let's go back to the humility part. So a lot of people that I see or I have encountered that has titles, no, you will not address them other than you will put that title on their name. They feel as if like you can't communicate with them unless you call them doctor, or you call them this, or you call them that. Let me tell you, the arrogance, okay? And not just with the title. Some people have an arrogance about themselves just by the circles that they're in and the amount of success that they have. But that is not, to me, that's not cute. Okay. Let me just say that. That's not cute. Humility. Just stop making yourself seem as if you are so important, or you are too important to help your brother out. Stop making yourself look so important as if you hold much more value than the next person. That is not true. We are all equal in the eyes of God, okay? There are just some things on earth that man made, that puts people into these hierarchies, as you may call it, to make it seem as if they maybe have or hold more value than the next person. But that's not true. So humility for me is very, very important. just to be humble. I think just being humble in my experience and along my journey has been able to get me into doors that I wouldn't have been able to get in on my own. I know it's my character and how I carry myself and how I continue to carry myself that's getting me into certain places. Like, you have to be humble. I don't care if you are a doctor. I'm a doctor, but I don't walk around as if I'm the most important and you need to value me more than you value yourself or others around you. That's just not my character. I'm sorry. I don't get down like that. So, I mean, I can go on and on and on and talk about being humble and talk about humility. That is just so important to me. And hey, that's just my character. So that's why I find it important. So let's go to the last moral character or quality that I feel an entrepreneur should possess while they're in business. So, reliability. So this one is, yes, it goes along the lines of morality, but also it puts you into like this physical, realm too, to where, you have to perform. So let me give you the definition of reliability. So consistently good in quality or performance, able to be trusted. There's that word trusted again. Let me repeat the definition of reliability. Consistently good in quality or performance and able to be trusted. So let me ask you 3 questions. And these 3 questions may sound uniquely alike, but I want you to ask yourself this, especially my business owners. Let me ask you, are you coming through for people? Are you coming through for people around you? Are you coming through for your customers? Question number 2. Can others depend on your word to be your bond? That's a deep one, okay? Because people take that very lightly, but your word is ultimately your bond because people rely on the things that you say in order to look forward to something being done. So, of course, it's your word first, but ultimately, it's your action in doing it or making sure that it gets done that people rely on. So, are you reliable in that sense to where what you say you're going to do, you're going to do? The last question that I have for you: can others depend on you? Can others depend on you? Can they depend on you to follow through with what it is that you say you're going to do? Can they depend on you to assist them? Can they depend on you to bring them the resources that they need in order to become a better person, a better entrepreneur, just an overall great individual? Can they rely on you? Are you reliable? So I will say, there are a lot of important moral characters out there and qualities that I feel as if an entrepreneur should have while they're in business. I just chose like 5 of them just to, have a quick little chat with you all. But I chose 5 that I can relate to. I can relate to because I try to walk the walk because I am talking the talk. I can't come on live and try to teach someone something that I don't believe myself or that I don't walk myself. So, like I was telling my husband earlier, it's like with faith. And I'm gonna be quite honest with you. Sometimes I fall short. I fall short sometimes. I'm human. I'm getting it together. Okay. I'm working on it. Sometimes I fall short. But how do I, go in and teach someone something? And that's something that I don't have myself. You know, that's important. Okay. So never be afraid to make mistakes in life as long as you desire to do better. As long as you put forth that effort to do better, you will do better. It will become a part of you. It will become a part of who you are. So you won't it won't even be a trying game, because some people they try so hard and it's like these urges come back up. These urges of who they used to be come back up. And it's such a struggle for them. But if you honestly and genuinely have these characters, there's nothing to suppress. This is who you are, and it's going to exude and it's going to show. Okay. So I hope that you got a lot of information tonight. I hope that you are inspired and motivated by the information that I gave you on tonight in order for you to become and operate from your highest potential. Again, I am Dr. Tiffany James. Thank you for joining me on the Power in Minding Your Business podcast. Of course, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you are in the world. And I will see you all on next Friday at 7 p.m. Ciao. Oh, you know what? Before I leave, sorry. If you want to know more about me and what I do in business, you can visit www.drtiffanyjames.com. And that is drtiffanyjames.com. Also, if you want to learn how I got my mind right, and who helped me, and you want to know who my mentor is, his name is Mr. John Tellerico. And if you're interested in his program and just finding out more about his program and what he does in business, you can go to www.dreamwithjohn.com. And that's John, Jon, not JOHN, but JON. www.dreamwithjohn.com. And I look forward to seeing you beautiful people on next Friday. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your support. Have a wonderful day.